Hello everyone, welcome to the second PUC economics class. I am Suma, economics lecturer, Gopalswamy PU College, Mysore. In today's session of money and banking, let us discuss an important topic, and that is liquidity trap. Liquidity trap situation arises when there is rate of interest is low, savings are too high in the economy. So, this situation is witnessed with the lowest rate of interest and the highest rate of savings. So, now let us see why this is caused. What is the reason for this? In an economy, lots of money is supplied through the central bank of the economy, and after each money supply, that is after every repeated money supply, people may not be willing to get the securities, or people may not be in a situation of buying the goods every time, and at time public wishes to have higher rate of savings and all the savings in the form of money. This is a situation that arises in the case of macroeconomics. They want to hold their money in the form of money itself. That is, it is a situation where money is in the form of wealth and not in the form of any kind of savings. So, here when there is an expansionary money supply, then the situation of liquidity trap is seen. Liquidity means money supply, that is whenever we have to liquidate our savings, we will go for the easiest form of savings in which we have kept our money. So, with every additional money, we go and we fix ourselves in a kind of trap, that is a net. It is difficult for us to come out of this situation because public is always willing to save money either in the form of money itself or in the form of wealth. So, this situation says that when every individual wishes to hold the money in the form of money itself, the policies of the Reserve Bank of India will become fail, because in addition to the existing money supply, any amount of money, if it is supplied to the Indian market also, if the people are abstaining themselves from buying the products, then what happens? This becomes a fail. So, now let us see about the features of liquidity trap. The features are like this. The very low interest rates are seen. The interest rates will become so low that it cannot go beyond lower to that level. So, this is a rare situation and it is not seen frequently, but the interest rates become very low and no inflation situation, because people are not willing to buy the bonds or securities because of the lesser and lesser rate of interest. What happens? The money will be with the hands of public only, and if they are not buying any kind of securities, they want to hold this money in the form of money itself and they convert it into another types of wealth, but they are not ready to buy these bonds. When they don't purchase, money will not enter the commercial banks. So, what happens? There will be a stagnation. So, at this time, even the public is not willing to buy the products also. The demand for products also will lessen. How far the products may be sold at a lesser rate also. People are very strict in spending because they don't want, because they are afraid of the future economical crisis. Maybe there may be some natural calamity or war or anything may occur. So, now we are facing one such situation of a global pandemic. So, at this situation, investment opportunities are less and even the public are not willing to invest in any of the goods in excess. So, whatever that is required for the day-to-day expenditure, that much only the people are spending, and the additional money they are keeping as savings. The second feature here is no inflation, because you all know that when a commercial bank collects bonds from the Reserve Bank of India and it gives money to Reserve Bank of India. So, whatever the money that the Reserve Bank of India collects in addition will be given to the commercial banks only in the form of loans when there is an emergency. So, this additional money or this additional money supply given by the Reserve Bank of India to the commercial bank of India is called as expansionary money supply. So, when the expansionary money supply is also being given to the commercial banks, offer loans to the public at lesser rates of interest also. So, the public is not willing to buy these loans or get these loans from the commercial banks, because the money that they are going to get out of the loans from the commercial banks should be spent, because they don't want to keep the loan money as savings. So if they want to spend, they have to be able of getting additional income, and so that they can repay the loans. But in such situation, there is a complete lack of inflation, that is, there is absence of inflation, because the public who get loans are not ready to buy the goods, and obviously the demand for the goods will lessen, and when the demand for the goods are reduced or lessen, naturally the inflation or price hike will be absent. So the price of all the goods will be in a normal rate, and therefore there arises a situation of balance in the demand and supply. Even though the additional money that is supplied through the expansionary money policy is again kept in the name of savings only, even if it is got by the public in the name of loans, they don't spend it, they will keep it as a savings. So the third feature is high savings is seen in such situation. At the time of liquidity trap, the high savings are seen. People go on saving and saving. Additional money, even if they get from any other source also, they wish to save it rather spending. Fourth one is the zero or less investment. Even after obtaining the money at lesser rates of interest also, people are not willing to spend it, and they are not even happy with any kind of investment. Instead, they want to hold it again. This is one such situation, that they are waiting in the markets for the improvement of the interest rates. When once the interest rates become high, or when the interest rates are improved, naturally the public will spend on that, because they get additional income. So this is a situation, the lowest rates of interest and highest rate of savings. The next one is ineffective money policy. RBI may plan differently to induce the public to go for investment, because if there is no investment in the market, the economic growth cannot be found. When there is an absence of economic growth and development, the number of people who are below poverty line will also increase, and there exists a situation of more poverty. So therefore, the absence of economic growth is also seen, because RBI wants the public to spend in the market. So only RBI gives commercial banks, gives money to commercial banks, and commercial banks in return give these money to the public as loans, so that when once the public obtain loan from these commercial banks, let them invest it in the market, let them buy the products. So when once the goods are bought, naturally again that money is going to be in the will be added to the national income, and it is used to calculate the GDP of the country. So in return of buying the products, the money will go to the firms only, and these firms' income will add to the GDP of the country. So there is a circular flow of income in this way. But when the public decides that they are not willing to spend because of the lowered rate of interest, then the money supply in the market will also reduce, and also the economical development will be absent. So only this liquidity trap situation is again harmful for the development of the society. So for that only RBI comes with different types of tools, so that it can induce the public to get the loans from commercial banks, as well as to improve the rates of interest also. So this is a situation explained in the Keynesian economics, that is John Maynard Keynes, who is the father of macroeconomics, explained this theory in the macroeconomics. In Keynesian economics, this liquidity trap has been explained in detail by J.M. Keynes. So now let us see about it. That is, everyone in the economy hold their wealth in money balance, and if additional money is injected, that is through the RBI's measures, if additional money is supplied to the market within the economy, it will be used to satiate people's cravings for money balances without increasing the demand for bonds, and without further lowering the rate of interest below the minimum. That is, everyone in the economy wants to hold their wealth in money balance itself. They are not even ready to buy the government securities or bonds, or they are not even ready to buy the products in the market, as well as they are not even contributing to any kind of investments also. So here we can see the absence of economic growth. The attitude of public is towards the stagnation of economy and not towards the economic development. And then if additional money is injected, that is, even after the people's decision of not spending, the additional money is injected, that is introduced or supplied to the market by the Central Bank of India, even for that money also the public wishes to save only. With that money also the public wishes to save only, and they are not even willing to spend it on either on the goods or on the securities. More and more additional money if it introduced into the market also, people have the public will decide that they will keep even this also in the form of savings only, because the rate of interest is low for all these bonds and securities. They are waiting for the opportunity to increase the rate of interest for these bonds. So when once the rate of interest increases, then only people or public will make up their mind to invest on them. So it will be used to satiate, that is to satisfy the more and more hunger for the savings will be seen in this situation. So the additional money that is injected to the market through the RBI's measures will also be used to satiate people's craving, that is demand or wish for money balances, without increasing the demand for bonds. Even if additional money is also given to the public with lower rates of interest to the through the commercial banks, even then also they are not ready to buy the bonds, because they are waiting for the improvement of the rate of interest of these bonds. So therefore, without further lowering the rate of the interest below the minimum, so they wait for two situations. One is that they want to see a higher improvement of rate of interest in the bonds, that is whatever the bonds the RBI is expecting them to buy should fetch them additional income through improved rate of interest. And the second one is they don't want to lessen the rate of interest. So therefore, this situation is called as speculative demand for money is infinitely elastic. That is, the speculative demand for money, that is, people have three motives. As you all have studied, there are three motives for getting money. One is transactionary motive, second one is the precautionary motive, and the third one is speculative motive. People keep some amount of their income as reserves for speculating in the market, because whenever there is an improvement in the rate of interest, obviously they spend their savings to this bonds and securities, and as an anticipation of additional income out of this, they are ready to buy additional bonds. But when once the rate of interest are lower, their speculative demand for money is infinitely elastic. It is like their demand for the improvement of the interest rate stretches to the extent that they are ready to wait for months after months, so that they can get some additional income, because here a public wishes to invest in the securities just because for the reason that they may get some additional income in future in return. So this is a situation of liquidity trap. So now let us see this with the help of a diagram. See here, at this y-axis interest rates are mentioned, and at x-axis the money supply is mentioned. Here is higher rate of interest. So let us learn or understand this with the help of this diagram. In the y-axis interest rates are marked, and on the x-axis the money supply is marked. So at the highest rate of interest, the money supply is only this much, that is very less. At the rate of interest with 2 rupees, the money supply is bit increased, because people here they were willing to spend because the rate of interest is high, but the money supply was less. But here the money rate of interest has been come down to a certain extent, and the money supply is also expanded to a certain extent. And here the minimum rate of interest is seen, that is rate is 1 here, I am giving all these as an example. So at this area, at this juncture, the money supply is more because the rate of interest has come down. People are not willing to buy the bonds. So the money supply is in the market with the hands of the public, and this goes on here till there is an horizontal line. So this area is called as the liquidity trap. Here the public is fixed in a net, like liquidity net. Here either they are not willing to buy the bonds because the rate of interest is less, and even they are not ready to invest also. So the money is fixed here. The money with the hands of public is settled here, and they are waiting for the improvement of the rates of interest in future, and for that only they have hold their money with them itself in the form of money itself or in the form of wealth, but they are not ready to spend in the market. They are not having any kind of incentive to spend it in the market for buying the goods. So the money flow which enters to the market will settle in the form of savings itself. The money inflow in the market is absent, and the demand for the goods also will not be seen here. So when the demand for the goods are absent, naturally the price also fall, and there is a complete absence of inflation. There will not be a situation of deflation or price fall also, because the market and public maintain a balance between the demand for the goods and supply of the goods. This kind of situation is seen in this pandemic because there is lack of money, a shortage of money with the public to invest or to buy. So therefore the demand for the products are also lessen, and the money flow in the market is also lessen, and gradually this should improve with the measures of the Reserve Bank of India only, so that only we can see some kind of economic growth as well as development. So when this gradually improves with the help of additional improvement in the rate of interest of the bonds, public are willing to buy these securities, and when public start buying these securities, commercial banks get money, and these commercial banks, in addition to the existing income, if they get additional money through the purchase of bonds and securities, then what happens? They naturally give it in the form of loans, and when once the loans are given, public again go for buying the loans or getting the loans, and that money that they obtain through the loans, they start investing or buying the products in the market. When once they start buying the goods in the market, the demand for the goods increase, and when the demand for the goods increase, naturally there will be a balance of demand for the money and supply of the money, and this situation witnesses economic growth. So this is the position of liquidity trap. Therefore at this situation the speculative demand for money is zero, because public is not willing to spend on the government securities also, or not they are willing to spend even on the products also. So the investment money is also absent in the form of goods as well as in the form of securities. So what happens? Naturally when the speculative demand for money becomes zero, as you all know that the aggregate money, the total demand for money is both the transactionary and speculative, but here both are missing because there is only one motive is existing in the eyes of the public, that is precautionary motive, and as a precautionary measure they want to hoard all the money in the form of money as well as wealth. They are not even spending on the government securities, and they are not even helping the banks to earn interest, or even they are not even helping the market also by buying the goods and by increasing the demand for the goods. So at this situation only precautionary motive is seen. At the situation of a liquidity trap, we can see that the total demand for money, which is both in the form of transactionary demand as well as speculative demand. The transactionary demand for money is proportional to the GDP and price level, because people have a need for money to transact in the market. So the transactionary motive of money is intended to add to the GDP, that is gross domestic product. The more and more money is changing the hands of public in the market, the more and more income is generated out of the production of additional production of goods and additional generation of services. If the money is settled in the form of savings, naturally the movement of money will be in stagnation. The movement of money will be in absence, and this is a stagnation situation where there is no profit, no loss situation. So the improvement of GDP is also absent, as the transactionary motive of money is absent. When it is not in the transaction, it is staying in stagnation. So at that time the improvement is not seen in GDP. So the transactionary motive for money is directly proportional to the GDP and the price level. So here the price level is determined by the transactionary amount that is available in the market at a particular point of time, because you all know money is both a stock as well as flow. When it is a stock, it is static. When it is a flow, it is dynamic. Here, when we are calculating the GDP, we take into consideration the value of the goods and services that are produced and generated over a period of time. That here we consider the money as a flow, which is a dynamic aspect. But at this situation of liquidity trap, the money is absent in the market and the flow of money in the form of transaction is also absent. The speculative motive. So here this is inversely related to the market rate of interest. Always the speculative motive of money is inversely related to the market rate of interest, because as the market rate of interest decreases, the speculative motive will be increased and they start to hoard it for future speculation. So when the interest rates are increased, public are ready to spend, and until that time they are ready to wait. So here the market rate of interest should improve so that the speculative money that is in the hands of the public in the form of savings will enter the market in the form of transactionary money. So this situation explains about the liquidity trap. As the people save their money in whatever forms at wherever situations, the demand for the speculative money becomes again elastic, and all these money that is kept in whatever the form, in the form of gold or in the form of wealth or in the form of hard cash, should all be brought back to the market in the form of transaction money, and then only the situation of the improvement of rate of interest can be seen. And when once the rate of interest improves, naturally the money supply in the market attains its purpose. So this expansionary money policy increases the motive of demand for products, and the contractionary money policy uses the fall for the price in the market. So liquidity trap situation handles both, and the public wait for the improvement of interest, and they are waiting for the additional income in the form of additional rate of interest, and this is the speculative motive of public. Now let us see about the instruments of money policy and RBI. The relationship between the instruments of money policy and the way how the Reserve Bank of India handles these money policies. As you all know, the commercial banks issue loans to the individual persons as well as to the firms. So when at this process of issuing loans to the public as well as to the firms, the commercial banks collect some sort of security from both, but at times the individual persons may fail to repay the loans, or even the firms which have taken crores of amount of money may also fail to repay the loans, and even whatever the collateral security that they have given as against their loans may also fail to satisfy the demand of both the principal amount and the interest amount. The commercial banks will be in such a situation that they have to face a kind of economic crisis. So at this time they suffer huge losses, and for this the Reserve Bank of India cautions them that they have to stop giving loans. When the commercial banks stop giving loans, what happens? The income of these commercial banks will be reduced. So when the income of these commercial banks reduce, the operational and maintenance expenditures cannot be met. So therefore at this time the Reserve Bank of India comes to the help of the commercial banks. It stands as a guarantor to the commercial bank, to that particular commercial bank which has suffered loss because of non-performing assets, that is because of the absence of the repayment of loans. When there is an absence of repayment of loans, the number of NPA increases. NPA is nothing but non-performing asset. The money that the commercial bank that has kept in the form of SLR as per the guidelines of the Reserve Bank of India will also be used to meet this crisis. Even after that also, if there exists a situation of shortage of income to the commercial bank, then the Reserve Bank of India helps the commercial bank. So it intervenes to the situation and assures with additional loans. So additional money that is given to the commercial bank to satisfy this shortage of income should be returned to the Reserve Bank of India with additional rate of interest. But at this situation, when the commercial banks become unable to pay the demand deposits and the time deposits of the public because of the shortage of income, then the Reserve Bank of India stands as a guarantor and it assures the public that the money that they have invested in this particular commercial bank will be repaid to them after certain time. For that, Reserve Bank of India has its own instruments of money supply, and through that Reserve Bank of India helps these commercial banks, and the public who are in a panic that this bank has gone to insolvency will be assured that the Reserve Bank of India takes care of the solvency situation of this commercial bank and will help the public for getting back their money that is invested in this particular bank. So like this, Reserve Bank of India is into the safeguarding of the interests of both the public as well as the commercial bank, because in a setup of banking, the first and foremost and primary interest of the Reserve Bank of India is to become the lender of last resort. You have all learnt in the functions of the Reserve Bank of India that plays a role of lender of last resort. When this particular commercial bank is unable to repay the demand deposits and time deposits of the public, then it will go to the Reserve Bank of India. So only the Reserve Bank of India is called as the lender of last resort, as well as even if this commercial bank is unable to get loans from neighboring banks or any other banks, the Reserve Bank of India comes to the help of this public also. From the point of view of public also, the Reserve Bank of India becomes the lender of last resort, so that the people should not lose faith in the banking system of the country. The central bank of any economy comes to the help of the public, and it stands besides both the public as well as the commercial bank. So like this only, the instruments of money policy, the different kinds of instruments of money policy comes to the help of Reserve Bank of India at times of economic crisis. The Reserve Bank of India not only helps the public as well as the commercial banks, it also comes to the help of the governments. The governments, when they are unable to meet their expenses because of the natural calamities or because of any other kind of political instability, because of the economic crisis, the Reserve Bank of India helps them to get the additional money that is required to run the government. So individual government give their tax receipts to the Reserve Bank of India and collect the money, because the governments do not have the permission to issue the notes. So all the notes and the currencies are issued by Reserve Bank of India, and as against the securities that individual state governments furnish to the Reserve Bank of India, central bank issues loans and money to the governments. So with the help of these government, the state government meets the needs of its employees' salaries and also the purchases related to the defense as well as for the public distribution system. So any government at this situation, these government sell their treasury bills to the RBI and in return collect the currency that is required for running the government. So the treasury bills which are there in the government's treasuries will be given to will be exchanged with the currency, and demand for the money is met with through this. The money that comes to the governments in this form reaches the hands of the public and they enter into the money market. This is another instrument of money supply to the market that is followed by Reserve Bank of India. So this is called as deficit financing. So this instrument is called as deficit financing to the governments by the Reserve Bank of India. So like this, Reserve Bank of India has different kinds of instruments of money supply to meet different kinds of economic crisis situations, and with the help of this central bank, lots of economic problems are met with and they are solved. So with this I conclude today's session. In our next session, let us learn about few more topics of the same lesson. Thank you.